Good afternoon, everyone. In last lecture, we have seen the different feeders. So here, the first we have seen that is radial feeder. So in radial feeder, here there is a single generating station, and the power flows only in one direction, right? So here when we are considering the fault which is occurring at load side, then the circuit breaker near that fault will operate, means the relay will operate. But if the fault occurs in between, then after that fault, whatever be the sections are there, suppose I consider here the fault is occurring between substation 2 and substation 3, then what happens? The power supply of this substation 3, 4, and after that whatever be the substations or the load connected is there, then the power supply of these loads will be disconnected, but the power will be supplied to this substation 1 and up to substation 2. Okay, so this is the disadvantage of this radial feeder, means we cannot control the supply, okay, at the load end. So am I clearly audible?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So here the time graded system is used, means if the fault occurs at a longer distance, then that relay will operate first, and the relay at the generating station will operate at last, because the time set for that relay is more. Okay, means the time is increased when you are coming towards the generating station. So this is again one disadvantage, that if the fault occurs in between and if the nearest relay fails to operate at that time, then for the operation of next relay it takes too much time. Okay, so that is the disadvantage of this radial feeder protection. Okay, so after that we have seen, means these what disadvantages are overcome by this parallel feeder. So in this parallel feeder we are using the two feeders. Okay, there is a single generating station, but we are using the two feeders here. So if the fault occurs here, so for this feeder the power is supplied, for this point the power is supplied by using another feeder. Okay, that is feeder number 2. So this can be supplied in two ways, that is from generating station to point A towards this point, or it can also be supplied from generating station to point B to Q, from to P and to this point. Okay, so at the two ends here we can supply the power. Okay, so this is the advantage of parallel feeders. But again, means it is simply like your backup protection. Okay, now the third system is the ring main system of protection. So now in this ring main system of protection, so there is a generating station, and this A, B, C, D are the four substations we can consider here. So here if any fault occurs, okay, if any fault occurs here, then the power will be supplied by two substations here. Okay, so any one substation can supply the power. If that one fails, then there is another substation to supply the power here. Okay, so this is the advantage of ring main system of protection. So means there are fewer voltage fluctuations at the consumer's terminal, because we are nothing get disturbed there. Okay, nothing get disturbed there, means if fault occurs in a single line, okay, there are two stations to supply the power. Okay, so here, and one another advantage is that this system is very reliable, because this is at the fault position, it is fed by two feeders. Okay, then we have seen the relay coordination. So relay coordination means what? Actually, we are setting the time and current for these relays. But which relay should operate first, which after that? So that should be set previously only. Okay, so that is the relay coordination means your relays should work very sequentially or orderly. Okay, so suppose these are the four substations, that is A, B, C, D, and if the fault is occurring in between this C and D, so relay should operate at first. Okay, which is yes, Saurabh. Saurabh,
Yes,
any
madam,
doubt?
by mistaken.
Huh?
No, madam.
Huh?
By mistaken.
Okay, no problem. Okay, so here relay coordination means relay should operate sequentially. Okay, so if I consider that the fault is occurring between these two substations, that is C and D, means which relay should operate first? Relay which lies between this C and D should operate first, right? So if so if this relay relay fails to operate, then suppose its time is set at 0.5 second. Okay, and for relay between B and C, the time is set at point or 1 second. Okay, so if the relay between C and D fails to operate, after that relay between B and C should operate, because when fault is occurring between C and D, this section means the power supply of this section get disconnected here. Okay, so when that relay will operate, okay, means that faulty section will be removed. After that, the power supply will be continued. But if that relay will fail to operate, then relay between B and C should operate there. Okay, because the time for this relay is 1 second. 1 second. Okay, and relay time for A and B is suppose set at 1.5 second. Okay, then if again the relay between B and C fails, then the relay between A and B should operate. Okay, means the relay should be operate sequentially. Okay, sequentially. That's why their time and current should be set properly. Okay, means for time setting, it should be 0.5 for the relay which is placed from the longer distance from the generating station. Okay, means minimum time should be set for that relay. Then the relay which is set nearest to the generating station, so for that relay the time should be maximum. Okay, so and the current should also set according to that. Okay, means your peak of value of relay should be set in such a way that the relays will operate sequentially. Okay, so this is the relay coordination. Okay, then this is the procedure we have seen, means we have to set the current, voltage, times, okay, in sequence such that your relays will operate sequentially. Okay, now today we'll see the next point, that is first one, that is the overcurrent relay. Okay, so overcurrent relays, what is mean by overcurrent relay? So these overcurrent relays operate only when the value of current is greater than the relay setting time. Okay, means uh, uh, we are setting some value of current that is called the pickup current, or it is called the current setting. Okay, so we are setting some value of the current at the relay. Okay, of the relay. Okay, so if the current flowing through that relay is more than that pickup value or current setting, then your relay operates. That is called the overcurrent relay. Okay, means that relay operates when the value of current is greater than the relay setting time and current. Okay, so if suppose you set your relay time at 0.5 seconds. Okay, so that is the first relay which operates. So if that if that 0.5 is over, then your relay will start operating. That is your overcurrent relay. Okay, then under normal operating conditions, the restraining force is greater than the deflecting force. Means what? Actually, we have seen the electromechanical relays. Okay, electromechanical relays, in that there is a restraining force and the deflecting force. Okay, deflecting and restraining force. Deflecting force means what? Um, there was one conductor, like so here there was one conductor, and there was a coil. Okay, there was a coil. Okay, first is the when this deflecting force will act. Okay, so when this deflecting force will act, this contact get closed. Okay, means it will come in this direction. But when this restraining force is more, then this get connected here, means these contacts will be open. These contacts will be open here, where your restraining force, suppose this is your restraining force. Okay, and this is your deflecting force. Okay, deflecting force. So when your current will flow, when the current will flow through this circuit or through this electromagnet, then what happens? The magnetic field will be developed, and this field hello. So here when that magnetic field will be produced uh, due to the action, means we know that due to the force developed due to the magnetic action, there will be force developed. Okay, so due to that only your relay operates, means from normally close contacts, normally open contacts to normally close contacts. Okay, so when that deflecting force will be more, that time deflecting force will be more. When it will be more, when the current flowing through the circuit is more, means when the fault is occurring. So when there is a normal condition, okay, when there is a normal condition, that time there is a spring. Okay, this is a spring, and actually this one is in upper side. Okay, this is in upper side, and when the normal current is flowing, that time whatever be the force developed, okay, that is the restraining force is greater than this deflecting force. Okay, restraining force is greater than the deflecting force. But when the current will increase, that time what happens? This deflecting force becomes greater than the restraining force. So therefore this attracts this conductor. Okay, this element attracts this conductor, so that the normally open contacts of your relay become normally closed. Okay, normally closed. Okay, so this is the working principle of your overcurrent relays, and it is somewhat same for all overcurrent relays. Okay, so I hope you understood. So overcurrent relay means what? This overcurrent relay will operate when your current uh, will be more than the relay setting time. Okay. Then under normal operating conditions, your restraining force is greater than your deflecting force, because whatever be the magnetic flux developed and torque will be developed in that. So that time under normal conditions, due to the spring, your restraining force is greater than deflecting force. But when any fault will occur, or if the high current will flow, or if the high current will flow through when the high current will flow, then your deflecting torque will be more than the restraining torque. Okay, will be more than the restraining torque. Okay, therefore these contacts get close here. Okay, these normally open contacts get close here, and your relay will start operating there. Okay, so this is the working principle of your overcurrent relay. So depending upon the time of operation of this overcurrent relay, these relays can be classified as: first, that is instantaneous overcurrent relay; then definite time overcurrent relay; inverse time overcurrent relay; then inverse definite minimum time, that is the IDMT overcurrent relay; then very inverse definite time overcurrent relay; and extremely inverse definite time overcurrent relays. Okay, so we'll see all the 6 relays, okay, overcurrent relays one by one. So all of you first note this, then we'll go further. Okay, so at least 2 types. First we'll see the instantaneous overcurrent relay. Okay, so first is instantaneous overcurrent relay. So what is mean by this instantaneous overcurrent? Sir, madam. So instantaneous overcurrent relay. Now this relay has no intentional time delay for operation. Means we have seen in yesterday's lecture that when any relay starts operating, that time what actually happens, that relay is not will not start at the same instant only. Okay, means it takes some time. Okay, so what is that time? The operating time of relay, that is at first your fault is occurring. Okay, at first your fault is occurring. So when that fault occurs, okay, after that your after that your relay will start. Okay, means it gives signal to the circuit breaker. Okay, then your circuit breaker will open the contacts. Okay, that circuit breaker will open the contacts, and after opening the contacts there will be arc produced. So to extinguish that arc, some time will be taken, and after that some step time is provided. Okay, so this is your total operating time of the relay from the occurrence of fault. Okay, but this instantaneous overcurrent relay has no intentional time delay. Means what we are actually doing, we are setting the time minimum operating time of 0.5 seconds. We can set it from 0.3 to 0.5 seconds. This is your minimum operating time of the relay. But for this instantaneous overcurrent relay, no time is provided. Okay, for the operation. So its contacts get instantly closed. Okay, means if the fault occurs, its contact will immediately get close, means it acts very fastly. Okay, so the time interval is very less. Okay, means less than your almost 0.3 or 0.38 or 0.5 seconds. Okay, so then it has low operating time. It has low operating time, then operates only when the impedance between the source and the relay is less than that provided in the section. Okay, so this relay operates only when the impedance between the source and relay is less. Okay, so impedance is less means current flowing through the circuit is more. Okay, so that time only this relay operates. Then speed of operation, so this relay is very fastly operating. Okay, this relay is very fastly operating, and it is placed in the outgoing feeder. Okay, so this relay is placed in the outgoing feeder. So this is your instantaneous overcurrent relay. Instantaneous means its name is only saying that this relay operates instantly without taking any time. Okay, without taking any time. Okay, instantaneous relay समजलंय का? Yes or no? स्नेहल, साक्षी, समजलंय का? Yes or no?
Yes, ma'am.
हाँ मैडम.
Okay. Now the next one is second point is definite time overcurrent relay. Okay, and note these points, at least a few points. Then definite time overcurrent relay. Definite time overcurrent relay means some particular time is provided, and after that time your relay will operate. Okay, that is called the definite time overcurrent relay. So this definite time overcurrent relay is created by applying intentional time, means we are giving some fixed definite, that is intentional time delay after crossing pickup value of current. Okay, after crossing pickup value of current means suppose the pickup value is set here. Okay, then if the current in the circuit or the line increases more than that pickup value, then also that relay is not operating. But after some time, okay, that time is nothing but the time provided in the relay or set in the relay. Okay, after that point or after that time only your relay will operate. Okay, so this is your pickup value. Okay, this is your pickup value, but after pickup value your relay should operate, but that relay is not operating. Some time is fixed time is provided here, and after that time only your relay will operate. Okay, means that is called the definite time overcurrent relay. Okay, so this relay is created by applying intentional time delay after crossing pickup value of current. Okay, then this relay can be adjusted to issue a trip output at an exact amount of time after it picks up. Okay, but when it reaches the pickup value. Okay, it reaches the pickup value. So that signal is given to the circuit breaker here. Okay, means the time is adjusted in this way, and it has a time setting and pickup adjustment. So for this relay we can set the time and we can set the pickup current, means we can do the current setting. So how the current setting can be done? How we are setting current in the relays? What is used for setting current in the relays? Yes. What is used to set current? Pickup current in the relay. Jairam. Shantanu. Bijli. Ashwini. So what is used to set the current value, pickup current value in the relay? Yes, we have seen examples. So there is plug position. Okay. So by using that plug position, we can set the pickup current. Okay. And there is a disc for setting the time also. Okay. So here the time versus current characteristic is shown. So as your current starts increasing, the time required for operating the relay that decreases, right? But here the time for operation of relay is fixed, okay, or is definite. That's why it is called the definite time over current relay, or definite time delay is provided here. Fixed time delay is provided here for these relays. Therefore, it is called the definite time over current relay. Okay. So draw this graph so that you will understand what is meant by this definite time over current relay. So armature conductor, it will also produce some flux. Getting my point? It will also produce some of the flux. Okay. Baba, we guys understand the function of field winding okay. That to produce a flux. समजलंय का सगळ्यांना? The function of armature conductor नेहा भोसले.
Yes, ma'am.
समजलंय ना?
Yes.
Okay. After that, next point, that is third over current relay is the inverse time over current relay. And if why I am taking this at first, because this is basic for relay. When you will start studying different types of relays, these terms are frequently coming. That's why this point is covered first. Okay. Now, the third is the inverse time over current relay. Okay. So, inverse time over current relay, we know this is the natural characteristic, because when we know that if fault occurs and when current starts increasing, of course, if the value of current is more, the time required for operating relay is less. Okay, is less. Means as your current starts increasing, then the time of operation of relay starts decreasing. Okay, that is nothing but the inverse time over current relay. Okay, means characteristic, and it is natural, okay, of any induction type rotating device. Means when we are considering any electromechanical relay, so for that this characteristic is common there. Okay, now the time of operation inversely varies with input current. Okay, means your time of operation, means when your relay will start operating, that time is inversely vary with the input current. Means whatever be the current, so according to that the time required will depend. Okay, means time required for the operation of relay will depend. So if your current is less, then the time required for operating relay is more. If your current is more, then the time required for operating relay is less. Okay, then it is very suitable for overcurrent protection. Okay, means if any fault is occurring, then, and if there is a very high current, so in a minimum time your relay will operate. Then same characteristic can be achieved in microprocessor based relay by proper programming. Okay, so in microprocessor based relay, we have seen microprocessor based relay. So in that, in programming only, we are setting our requirements. Okay, means if any fault is occurring, then we can set that. If we can set that value of current. Okay, so if that value of current is 50 ampere, okay, if we set that value, then after that only your relay will operate. Okay, and if that current value get increases, then your relay will operate fastly. Means we can do the time setting also. Okay, so in microprocessor based relays, by proper programming we can use the same characteristic here. Okay, so what we have seen, first instantaneous overcurrent relay, then second is definite time inverse overcurrent relay, then third is inverse time overcurrent relay. Okay, so these three characteristics we have seen. There is no much difference between this definite time overcurrent relay and inverse time. In definite time, we are simply fixing the time, okay, for the operation of relay after pickup value, and here no such time is set here. Okay, now the fourth one is the inverse definite minimum time over current relay. Okay, inverse definite minimum time over current relay, that is the IDMT. This is very frequently used relay. Okay, that is IDMT type relay. So uh, here all the characteristics are shown, that is for definite, IDMT, very inverse and extremely inverse cases. Okay, so for this IDMT type overcurrent relays, the operating time is approximately proportional to the fault current. Okay, means it is a definite minimum time relay. Means definite time relay is there, but it is inverse definite minimum time relay. So if when this relay will operate, so if the it is proportional to the fault current only. Okay, its operating time is proportional to the fault current. Okay, so means if the fault current increases, if the fault current will increase, the operating time means the time required for operation of relay will also increase there. That is your IDMT relay, or inverse definite minimum time relay. Then operating time is maintained by adjusting the time delay setting. we can also set the time there, okay, and by using the delay setting, okay, means by using the time setting, okay. So time disk is there, so by using that disk we can set the operating time also, okay. Then uses the electromagnetic core because it can easily saturate, okay. So here why it is why the electromagnetic core is used, because all of you know when the current will flow through that electromagnetic core, then it is setting some flux, okay. So if that current get increased, if current increases, then the number of flux produced in the core also increases. Am I clearly audible? आवाज
Yes.
येतोय का? हा, ठीक. So here when we are considering the electromagnetic core, that time what happens when we are giving supply, that time when means when the current is flowing through that core, through that coil, that time the flux gets set there, okay. And if we increase the value of current, then what happens, the flux set in the core also increases. But it has a property, this electromagnetic material has a property that if when that core gets saturated, after that if you increase the value of current, then also the flux will not increase, means the flux remains constant. That is called the BH curve, okay, that is called the BH curve. Here B and H is there. So if you increase the value of current, then flux also increases. But when your core gets saturated, that time if you increase the value of current, then your flux remains constant. That is called the saturation, okay, that is called the saturation, okay. So this saturation we need so that your relay will start operating, okay. So this relay uses the electromagnetic core, okay, then used for the protection of distribution line, okay. These IDMT relays are used for protection of distribution line, okay. So this is your characteristic, IDMT characteristic, okay. IDMT समजले? When this relay will operate, its operating time is set, and how it is set? It is set as which is approximately proportional to the fault current, okay, which is approximately proportional to the fault current, okay. And we can set the time also there, time also, and the electromagnetic core is used because it is saturating fastly, so that the relay operates very fastly, okay. And it is used for the protection of distribution line, okay. Then the fifth relay is the very inverse definite time over current relay. Very inverse, okay, very inverse means the inverse characteristic of relay is more than the IDMT, okay. It is more than the IDMT type, okay. One by one we'll see. First, instantaneous means at the instant of fault only your relay will start operating. Definite time, some particular time is given there. Then for inverse time, it is inversely proportional. Time is inversely proportional to current. Then in inverse definite minimum time. Okay, inverse definite minimum time means inversely proportional, but some at a fixed time, means that time is depend upon your fault current. Okay, upon your fault current. Okay. Then very inverse definite time over current relay. So in this inverse characteristic, the inverse characteristic of relay is more than IDMT and used in feeder and long transmission lines. Okay, so this type of relay is used in the feeders and on long transmission lines, and also it is used in the places where the magnitude of short circuit current fall rapidly. Okay, means your current will fall rapidly because of large distance from the source. Okay, so if the distance increases, okay, distance from the source increases, then your short circuit current will decrease. Okay, if your distance increases, then your short circuit current will decrease. Okay, that current will decrease as per your distance. So these are used at feeders and long transmission lines, and the cases when the distance increases as the short circuit current decreases very rapidly. Okay. Then the last overcurrent relay is the extremely inverse overcurrent relay. Extremely inverse definite time overcurrent relay. So the characteristic time of the relay is extremely large as compared to the IDMT. Okay, and very inverse relay. Okay, so the characteristic is extremely large as compared to IDMT. Okay, IDMT type, and it is very inverse relay. Then it is used for protecting the cable, transformer, etc. Okay, for protection of cables and transformers. Then it operates instantly when the pickup value of current is more than the relay setting time. So when this relay is operating, when the pickup value, when its pickup value of current is more than the relay setting time. Okay, then it provides faster operation even under fault current. So if there is a fault current, then also it operates very fastly, means no effect of the fault current. Then used for sensing the overheating of the machines. Okay, means the relay is used to sense the fault. Okay, relay is used to sense the fault. Okay, this is the function of relay. Means if any machine overheats, then also your relay will sense that machine is overheated. Okay, then used in the distribution networks and power plants. Okay, distribution networks and power plants, and fast operation in fault conditions. Okay, so if any fault occurs, this relay operates very fastly. These are the points in this extremely inverse definite time overcurrent relays. Okay, so note this. दुखायला लागला था. Continuous दोन एक पॉइंट राहिले. एक पॉइंट घेते की अजून आहेत 7-8 मिनिट. सवय गेली आता. Okay, noted these points. So here we have seen total 6 overcurrent relays. Which are those? Which are those 6 overcurrent relays?
Instantaneous.
Clear. Clearly not audible. Yes. First relay. Instantaneous overcurrent relay. Then second definite time. Then third inverse over. Inverse, yes, and then inverse definite. Okay, then inverse definite minimum time overcurrent. Inverse definite minimum time. Then very inverse definite time overcurrent relay. Okay, and next extremely inverse definite time overcurrent relay. Okay, correct. So these are the 6 relays. Now we'll see the next point. So is there any problem? No, ma'am. Okay. Now we'll see the earth fault and phase fault relays. Okay. So here, what is mean by this earth fault relays and why these are used? Okay. So earth fault means what? Earth fault. Which type of faults coming under this earth fault? Yes, earth fault. Do you know the faults occurring in the power system? Which are the faults? Which are the faults? Yes. Do you study in power system faults? Line to line fault, line to ground fault. Yes, double line to ground fault. Unsymmetrical, okay, unsymmetrical. These are the types. But actually, when we are considering faults, we can consider the line to line, then line to ground, and double line to ground faults. These are the common faults occurring in the power system. Okay, so here, what are the earth faults? Earth fault means the faults in which the earth term is coming. Means, for example, if your line to ground, that is line to earth fault, and double line to ground fault. Okay, line to ground and double double line to ground fault. Okay, 5 minutes. Double line to ground fault. Okay, then what is mean by this phase fault? Okay, so here for earth fault, if we are considering the 3 lines, okay, that is the 3 phases, that is R, Y, and B. Okay, if there is a single line to ground fault, okay, so that is one line to here ground fault. Then the double line to ground fault. Okay, so these 2 lines to the ground fault, and the second is the phase fault. Phase fault means what? If the fault is occurring between any 2 phases. Okay, if the fault is occurring between these 2 phases, then it is called the phase fault. Okay, so this earth fault relays and phase fault relays have the same operating principle, only they differ in the current level. Means the current for the phase fault is more than the current in the earth fault. Okay, so current value in the phase fault, okay, in the phase fault is more than the current in the current produced in the earth fault. Okay, so here this is only basic. In next lecture we'll see the earth fault protective scheme here. Okay, so for today we'll stop here. Thank you all and have a nice day. Thank you. बोला